Okay. Okay, do you have any comments on that first one? Do you have any questions or comments or feedback or anything?
Yes.
Yes.
As I was saying, it's really hard to kind of get into my head these five.
Cage time.
And what I would appreciate, or what would help me,
Yeah.
is kind of more examples so I can.
More examples.
Yes,
Yes.
But I think it takes time.
Yes.
So really.
Yeah, it takes time to get your brain to this framework.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. And I catch that. Yeah. Time is not on our side, I think. That's that.
But I got the gist.
General idea. Okay. Anything else? Any questions? Or... No? Okay. Okay. So we have. This is who we are. This is reality. Yeah. We have some strengths and weaknesses. Something's completely missing. Yeah. And our relationships suffer because of that. Because when my wife says, Stephen, I need you to do this well, I don't have it. I don't have that natural response to me. And when I hope and dream that she will give, I'm talking to something specific in her, and she can't give it back, I go, oh, where is God's love? How can I enjoy this? So I might, hug her and say, in the kitchen, and let's just romance, and let's just a moment together in the kitchen. And she said, get your hands off, I'm doing I'm cooking a meal, can't you see? And I go, well, come on, you can take an extra hour to cook a meal, it doesn't matter, we can have some fun. But, I'm talking to something and it's just not there sometimes. She's talking to something. So the question is, how do we get the energy for growth? How do we grow this? Because it takes energy to grow. We understand this vitality element. Yeah? We need some kind of energy for growth to take place. It just doesn't happen by itself. Okay? So we have these skills of listening, or behaving, or acting in certain ways, and trying to build relationships. So, but where do we get this energy to grow? Where does a company get energy for growth? Where does anything get energy for growth? It has to come from a certain dynamic which produces energy, which allows us to grow. And there's some dynamic which produces this energy, and this energy goes into our growth. So we are willing to grow. We desire to grow. We're willing to to make the effort to grow. Okay? So these are different set of principles. These are the principles of procreation. These are the principles by which God has given us this principle where we get the energy for growth. Okay? And it comes to do with our attitude towards life. It's a self-management of our brain. It's an attitude we have to manage attitudes towards life. So, it's not a skill. It is a skill, but it's not a skill. It's a habit. It's an attitude towards the relationships. It's an attitude. And if you have the right attitude, you can grow. And if you refuse to have the right attitudes, you can say, I don't want to grow. But it's an attitude towards growth. Okay? And if you don't have this attitude, growth will be hard. Growth will be difficult. You will end up endlessly arguing. And if you can choose, so it's up to you. It's your choice for you to take the attitude of growth or not. Okay? So I call them attitudes of the heart, because they spring from the heart to want to grow. It comes from the heart to say, I want to become God's child. I want to become. It comes from this, from your own heart to push you out into the world to grow and develop.
doesn't it have to do with how much I'm longing for? To have this attitude, I have a feeling something you have to decide. I want.
Yeah, that's right. No,
I must have longing hard for it.
there's lots of ways to explain it. Yes, this is the longing for it, the heart becomes God's son or daughter. You can say it that way. You can also say, I need to take control of my own personal growth. Only I can grow myself. It is my responsibility. And therefore I have to manage this. I have to get some control over this. And so I have these skills, these weaknesses and non-weaknesses. Yeah? But how do I grow? I have to have some sense of consciousness that I am willing to manage this, desire to do this.
Decide.
Yeah. And if I don't have that, I will not. I will just say, well, life sucks, and you're awful. I have nothing I can do. All lies. They're all lies. Yeah? But if you say, I can grow, I want to grow for the sake of God's love, for the sake of my children, for the sake of my wife, for the sake of heaven. Yeah? So, it says it very clearly. It gives us in the divine principle, this section 431, it clearly explains how God comes in and gives us the energy for growth. It's exactly what we need. It's exactly instructions from the principle of creation. It's very clearly. When two entities of two different things, and they're both God's manifestation, create a common base, in other words, they have a common goal together. Yeah? To seek to unite us, so to create something good together. When two people come together and they want to make something good happen, they establish a four-position foundation. And they engage in give and take action. So my wife we come together to start a family, and we engage in give and take action to create a family. Yeah? In accomplishing this, to accomplish this goal, the emotional force that the subject partner gives to the object partner is called love. I have to give something my wife sees as beautiful. I have to give her something. Yeah? I have to give her a massage, I have to give her my clean word, I have to give her a nurturing, I have to give her protecting, I have to give something. Give something. And the emotional force that the object partner returns to the subject partner is called beauty. The force of love is active, and the stimulation of beauty is passive. The purpose of love and beauty is to enable two wholesome beings springing forth from God to establish the four-position foundation and realize the purpose of creation. It's this process of love and beauty that we realize the purpose of creation. By sharing love and beauty with each other, they join in harmonious oneness, become a third object. So this is the process where we realize the purpose of creation. It's a very, very fundamental process, and we don't teach it in our schools or anywhere, but it is the most fundamental force that controls growth and development in human beings, in companies, in every situation. These rules apply to every level of society. So what is he actually talking about? This dynamic describes how we generate energy for personal growth, for personal co-creation. I give something into the relationship. I have the heart to offer something, some love, okay? And I see the beauty. I see the beauty. Then this generates energy, vitality, and it brings about personal growth. This is how it works. Okay? So, okay, well, I'll explain a bit more. Okay, so they've got this guy here, he's married to her, okay? He wants to give something to her to make her happy or something. But there's a sense, Can I appreciate her? Can I feel grateful for this experience? If I appreciate my wife, if I like her, if I value her, I'm much more likely to say, darling, what can I do for you? If I don't like my wife, if I can't see the beauty in her, if I don't, go, oh my gosh, this is what she is, I'm less likely to give to her. I'm less likely to grow. So it's my choice. Can I see the beauty in her? And the more I see the beauty in her, the more I'm willing to do whatever it takes to grow. And the less I work on seeing the beauty, if I don't work on that, the less likely I am to grow. It is the most fundamental thing. Can I see the beauty or not see the beauty? That's it. That's what it all comes down to. If I do not work and manage my ability to see the beauty in my life on a consistent basis every day, I will not grow. I will just sit there. I will not develop. If I wake up in the morning and I kind of 10 minutes or 5 minutes, 3 minutes, just thinking about how wonderful my wife is, how many good things she does for me, things like this, then when she comes to me and says, darling, can you do this? And then my heart is already saying, of course I can, because she's so wonderful. But if I wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, we had a row last night, oh my gosh, she makes a mess everywhere, and she says, can you do this? I go, well, for you, maybe not. Do you get the point? So, can I see the beauty in my wife or my husband on a consistent basis? Is the most fundamental law on whether I'm going to grow or not. If you walk in the door ever, and I kind of like you, and I kind of like the way you dress, and the way you smile, and I see beauty in you, appreciate it, say, oh, there's something really interesting, then I'm much more likely to say, hi, Eva. It's so nice to meet you. Tell me about yourself. Okay? And if you walked in the door, hands, and I thought, my gosh, this guy, he's weird. Who would love him? I'm more likely to say, well, hi, and bye. That's it. And no growth will take place at all. No development in our life. Knowledge, life, anything. He might come in as my saviour. He might be here to teach me something really special. He might be give some really good advice. But I have completely blocked him because I said, I do not appreciate anything in him at all. And that's it. And this is the most fundamental life force that develops businesses, develops people in businesses, it develops children. So when you're a teacher, if you walk into a classroom and you're saying, gosh, these children are awful. They're so terribly behaved. I hear they're really difficult to control. Are you going to give something to them? Are you going to have energy for them? Yes or no? No way.
You'll be drained out.
You're going to be drained out, and they're going to feel it instantly, and they're going to misbehave even more. But if you walk in and you say, I see the beauty in you, I see the inherent goodness in you, I see the potential in you, I see all these wonderful things. Hi kids, let's do this. You can grow, I believe this, and you have so much more energy, and you will grow to stretch. You are willing to stretch to fulfill their needs. You're willing to push yourself. You're willing to go to the library and study classroom management. You're willing to go off and learn different techniques because these kids don't listen to you. So how do I get there? But you know you can do this. So because of love for them, because you see the beauty in them, because you see the goodness in them, you're willing to put the effort in to grow.
So it has nothing to do with the other person.
No.
It's all about
10 out of 10.
It's all about your perception.
Good.
It's your perception.
Good. This is the point.
So it's also in our organisation. It's not about whether he's doing the right thing. It's all about actually my perception of people.
Exactly.
So we can't judge others.
Yes, technically, you are who you are. Technically, you are who you are, and accepting my partner exactly who they are and still appreciating them is the fundamental basis for growth. Just say they are how they are. He's got this strength, this weakness, and whatever he is, but I can still see a beauty in him. I can still see goodness in him. And because I see goodness and beauty in him, I'm willing to do what is necessary to make this relationship work and to help him grow, and hopefully he'll do the same for me.
So we don't blame anybody.
It's not a matter of blame. No.
It's not your problem, it's my problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's your problem.
No, I mean, it's
We are who we are. We are, you know, this section of the principle, you know, at the end of restoration section, you know, that we are part of this historical restoration process. And we are who we are, and it's our job to take what we have right in front of us right now and to move it forward. That's it. And it will never be ideal this year, next year, but we can in 10 generations make it. If we get the force of growth and development working and appreciating and valuing each other and saying, yeah, we can do this, let's get on with it together. So my marriage, once I understood this, when I caught this point, I found out almost every day, there were times of the day when I did not appreciate my wife. And there were times when she was acting to me that made it hard to appreciate her. And so I had to develop new ways to appreciate. So that if one method wasn't working, I had another. And if that one wasn't working, I had another. And then another one, and another one. So I always had a continual resources to draw upon and say, she's lovely. She is really an amazing woman. Even if she just kind of got upset with me a few years ago. Hi, wonderful. You're still lovable. Because I've learned to manage my own internal world better. My own appreciation of who she is better. And if I didn't have many resources, in fact I was terribly critical of people. I can still be very judgmental in my own heart. But towards my wife, I am trying to take like a constant feeling of, you are an awesome lady. You are wonderful to me, and I really appreciate it. And the longer I can hold that, the more I'm willing to invest in a relationship or grow or develop. When she says, do something, I say, yeah, don't. Of course not. Not a problem now.
wonderful.
I'm not so perfect, but I'm much better than I was, because sometimes I would kind of disappear for a few days or in my own heart, or 3 days, and that was definitely, wasn't helpful. And she's got better at just appreciating me, So this is wonderful. So, but it comes down to, because when you do every morning, you cannot have children, yeah? And every morning you have to wake up and say, hi kids, I believe in you. I trust in you. It's like you've forgotten the day before all that. And you just say, I am here to love you for who you are and try to help you and support you. And we kind of do this in some ways naturally with children. But with our partner, we find it harder. Would you kind of agree with that? Yeah. So it's somehow just having the internal attitude change. That this is my partner, is who they are, and they're growing. They're still we're all children of God. We're all the same.
Can I just ask you a question
Yeah.
about this diagram?
Yes.
So the heart, an internal attitude to give love.
Yeah, to give love.
And in principle it says the object gives beauty back.
Yeah.
But there it says when it says the heart and the internal attitude to seek beauty, is that coming from the object or is that coming from the subject?
From him. He wants
so
to seek beauty.
all of that is coming from him.
Yeah, technically. It's the heart to give something into the relationship, and it's the heart to appreciate.
So what is she giving back?
Now wait, well, she can be there and she can also be on the side. I've just got this man, because women are always the givers. I just try to say men can give too. But fundamentally, if he finds it hard to give, he can seek to appreciate, and that will trigger giving. Yeah? So if I don't feel like I'm very inspired to give anything to my wife right now, if I sit down for 5 minutes and think, actually she did this nice to me, and she did this, and she does this, and within a few minutes I go, oh, she's really helpful. I can go and break tea or dinner or whatever it takes to make this relationship work better. So I can trigger my desire to give by triggering beauty, by managing beauty or a sense of appreciation. Yeah? But of course the other way works around. When I give and she seems to enjoy it, then I can appreciate that too. And I say, oh, I'll do it again. You know. So if I clean the kitchen for the first time and she shows appreciation, I go, okay, I'll do it again. There's a lot of women go, oh, I've done this rule, and they say, but you missed this bit, this bit, this bit, and then it goes, okay, I'm never going to go there again, don't tell me, you know, I can never make you happy, you know? So, it is this, if you want him to grow, you have to show you appreciate, that's it, it's a simple rule, you know?
Another question, may I ask you a question? So if you don't love yourself, value yourself,
Good.
it's very hard to give love.
Ah, good.
And in this fallen world, a lot of people don't feel loved because they don't realize their value.
Mm-hmm.
So if we love ourselves, if we feel value as a child of God,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a lot easier to give.
Absolutely.
I just want to make that.
Yeah. It's an internal process too, absolutely. All these things work on an internal level and an external level. Yeah? And you're very right. Can I appreciate the good inside myself? Do I value myself? Do I think I've got something useful for the world? And then it triggers me. If I think I'm a loser, if I think I'm not really very good as a human being, then I'm less likely to give to the world. Yeah? It's just as it is. Yeah? So, when I give and I see you appreciating, of course joy is created, it creates an energy. Yeah? So you can either start with appreciation or you can start with giving. It's kind of a cycle. And there's no beginning, you might say. It's an internal energy source. But without this energy source you can't grow. There's no energy for growth. You just say, oh, here he is again, oh, there she is again. Hi, and you just carry on your existence together as kind of two people who are just kind of coping with each other. But you can do that for years without really growing. Yeah? And that's sad, because it can be far more energetic or life. If you somehow can get this, I really appreciate you, and you're wonderful, and I'll give to you, and let's dance. These kind of things. It's all an internal attitude of, I want to see the beauty in you, because that will trigger me to be happier with you. Okay? So, when I seek to give my wife what my wife likes or needs, or what our relationship needs, not always what I like, not always what I know how to give, then I grow. Okay? So if my wife said, can you do the cooking? And I might say, well, I'm not very good at it. Can you help? Do more around the home. I'm stressed. I've got a young kid. I might say, okay, I don't know. So she asked me, and I can say, I can do that, yeah? So when I seek to give what she likes or needs, then I can grow. So I say, out of my love for my wife, my appreciation for what she's doing, I'm willing to take on the cooking and do more. Yeah? And I'm willing to push myself for that love, for the sake of love. Okay? And this creates forces. Yeah, we know this existence multiplication action. Yeah? And generates forces, and this energy allows me to grow. And this generates one of my 5 types of love. So because I appreciate the children, I'm willing to value my children, I'm willing to go off and learn better parenting skills. Some of this are their parenting books, for example. Yeah? For my love for that, my appreciation for their potential. And then life becomes meaningful. Life becomes meaningful. Oh, this is what life is about. It becomes a meaningful life. It's about growth and development. Okay?
So, what would you say to people who why can't the woman be in the subjectivity.
She can. There's always, it doesn't matter.
This is just
Because in the second half of that sentence, the second part of that chapter 4.3, it says, once you get into this cycle of appreciation and beauty, of feeling of love and beauty, the subject becomes the subject, the object becomes the subject. So when you're really connected with a couple, when you feel like you're really enjoying each other's life and going on with it, etc., then what's happening is you're both appreciating each other and valuing each other, and you're not being terribly critical, and you're both giving into a relationship, and you both thought, this is working well. This is love becomes beauty, and being love, and being subject of it, and my wife can tell me what to do, and I can ask her what to do, and it just becomes a harmonious spiral. But of course there are times when that doesn't work. Yeah? Well, God hopes it will work. The principle says this is how it works. This is how you know God comes into your relationship. How can God be in a relationship where they say, what a nasty wife? She's terrible. She didn't ask. Why can't you define it? You can God be there. Let's see it up, you know. So, if you understand this, yeah? So, this is what it says in the second part. Yeah? When subject and partner and object partner become completely one in harmony, love is found within beauty and beauty is found within love. This is because when a subject and object partner become one in a circular movement, the subject partner is sometimes actually object partner, the object partner. That's how it works. But it really comes down to, can I appreciate my partner every day? Because if I can't, then I'm not going to give, or I'm going to do less. I'm going to be less joyful, or I'm going to be less dynamic, or less energy. But it's really whether I want to look at the beauty of my partner, wherever they are.
We have two here that don't have an husband, you know, and I think...
Yeah. But it's in friendships too. It's yeah. With children, sorry. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah.
I thought you could do it, but anyway.
Yeah. No, we can talk about this in a business. You know, exactly the same. If you're a boss and you've got staff, if every day you wake up saying, these have got potential, there's hope for these workers, they've got some good attitude sometimes, etc., then you're much more likely to have a positive attitude towards them. And then they feel that, and then when you say, can you do this? They say, yeah, okay. But if you they sense criticism and judgment and things like this, and they say do this, they go, oh, why should we? You know, you just don't like it. You know. And it's the same in friendships. It's exactly the same. You know?
Also growing in the parental skills, you know, even if you don't have any children of your own. It's, I mean, because we have many friends who know that they're
That's right.
practice, you know,
That's
they're
right.
single and so on.
Yeah.
How can we really inspire them?
Yeah.
And perhaps also they have the age they can't have, you know, children.
Yeah.
So.
But this applies to all relationships. It's a fundamental thing. I really treasure, like listening to Han last night, his early church years, you know. It was really fascinating to just listen, to listen reasonably well, to treasure, to value, to seek value. It inspires me, because I know it triggers me to feel close to that person, and to feel joy for that person, and to feel like something useful is happening in that. Yeah? So if I can just find something beautiful in the person, if I seek for it, I'm much more likely to feel closer to that person.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So this applies to my friendships, my children. Can I listen to my children when they come home from school? Can I listen to my
You
partner?
do have children.
Yeah.
You do have children, you have a partner.
Yeah.
How can we inspire? Because how can...
Yeah.
like I know for some, she's a daughter, she just became 50 years old, she doesn't have a child.
Yeah.
Because, how can we inspire people? Because we have a lot of these kind of people.
Yeah, but as I said, in all relations, it applies to, he's not my child.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I purposely choose to find things to appreciate.
Yeah.
So if I can listen to something from, so I asked him a question last night, didn't I? I said, what do you enjoy about your life in the movement? Beth,
Pressure.
what was most precious? Why? Because I want to feel his joy, and then his joy becomes my joy. And I feel like I've talked about the most precious thing he's got to offer. And he said, it's my family. Now, I could just talk about the weather. I could just talk about Swedish society or something like that. But I wanted to appreciate him purposely. What was his early years like? And what was his, and the difficulty? And what is he most... And so, by sensing and appreciating it, I feel much closer to him.
It's a good question actually to everybody. I think.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate most? Any kind of situation you are in.
That's right.
What do you appreciate most in your life?
That's right.
What type of situation you have?
Yeah. So this is one of the methods I use to manage my relationship with my wife, because when things are not going so well, I will often go and say, talk about the childhood or the difficulties in the childhood or the things. And the more I understand about the difficulties in the childhood, the more I can appreciate how she is so good, even despite the fact that she had a difficult childhood. So it's learning methods, new ways to appreciate, the more range of ways, the greater ways to say, how can I find something to really see in this person that is really precious? Then I can manage that relationship better. I can be more positive, more consistently. But if I only have one method, or if I don't use it at all, I just feel he's good, or today I don't feel he's good. That's it. But that's not self-management. It's not co-creation.
So you think this can apply to the boss from hell too?
Yeah, because you can talk to, if you read Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said being a good employee can transform a boss. Appreciating, showing you sense, even the other people complaining, and you look for the beauty in your boss, you say, and you sense it, he will grow to trust you more. And based upon that trust, he might offer advice or give you chances to change things or give you more responsibility. But if you're sitting there with everybody else, oh, the boss sucks, he will sense that. Yeah? Did you read his book, 7 Habits? You ever read it? No. So you can transform somebody who's in a subject position by taking an object position, which is the one of appreciation. You can do that. Yeah? If you don't, if he doesn't change, at least you grew a new method of appreciation, which is what Cain and Abel had to do. We'll talk about that later.
But it comes back to your almost first thing you said there. If you become a better person, everybody around you will become better.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Cool. That's it. That's the fundamental rule.
everybody.
Well, it depends which field you develop. Yeah, but everybody will improve. Yeah. People will feel more comfortable to bring out at that time. Yeah. Okay, so I know this for a fact. When I find it hard to find things to appreciate my wife, my friend, my children, my co-workers, my boss, that it is much harder for me to want to give them any of my love. I don't see anything to appreciate in you. Look at this woman. There's lots to appreciate, but I don't see it because you just, I can't see it. And loving gets hard. God moved out. No energy for growth. So this is what happens in divorces or things like this. It's an issue. They can't see the beauty anymore. They can't see that they've lost it. And part of the reason for this is that any problem we have, a problem is 3 times more powerful than an act of goodness.
Yeah.
3.14 pi, So in other words, if I can't have a weakness, I have to work to see three goodnesses in it for me to go, okay, I can live with it. Yeah? But if I want to be happy with it, I have to find 5. Fine. So I went through a period in my marriage where I was saying, oh gosh, something went wrong between us. I have to do 5 good things to repair that. I had got into the habit of that for a year or so. So it became part of me. So, something went wrong. Okay, I'm going to back into the glory. Keep like this. And then I'm back, I'll forgive you. And,
It's very important actually, what you're pointing at that, because for us wives, mothers, This kind of things it's quite important. These little things really lift us up.
Yeah, they do,
It's,
but 10 out of 10. Absolutely.
physical things, but
Yeah,
you know,
physical things.
very important.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a worksheet out there for men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I don't appreciate myself, how
Mm.
can I then
There you go. This is what it comes down to. Yeah. And it is the same with all healing. All healing is to do with, can I value myself, even with my brokenness, even can I just know that God loves me for who I am? And, can I, and that's the starting point of all healing. So how do I come to the point, even with all my messed up things, I'm still lovable. Still the sun is shining on me, still the flowers bloom for me, still God loves me. And that's the starting point of saying, okay, I can grow. So how does God, because this is the fundamental process through which God loves us. Why is it so important? You know, I'm a miserable, nasty guy. I'm not the most beautiful guy in the world, or terrific guy in the world. But God every day gives to me. Gives me His words, gives me His flowers, gives me His sunshine, everything else. But how does He give to me consistently, even when I do something wrong? Because He seeks to see the beauty in me that is still there. And if He did not look for the beauty in me and find it in me, if He just said, "You're a loser, Stephen," He would stop giving. That's it. But every morning I imagine God waking up and saying, "There's something good in that guy. I'm going to make the flowers rise, and he's got potential, and he's got hope, and he's got things." So what is this asking? The principle of you have to take the attitude of God.
Yes.
And this is a very interesting thing, because when I joined the movement, I was kind of a giving kind of guy, so in some ways, etc. But I wasn't very appreciative. So I couldn't feel God. I couldn't feel God. I couldn't sense Him. Why? Because I have a completely different spirit world than God has. So if I can't inherit God's attitude, I can't sense God, I can't feel God. And the more I take on God's attitude, the more I feel God is in me. God dwells in me.
I am God.
I am God. I am, that's how Jesus could say, I am the Son of God. Because He could have the attitudes that God holds towards His children.
So you criticize people.
No.
But
Well,
if,
you see, yes.
if you don't appreciate them, you cannot feel God's love within yourself because you're not seeing them. So any kind of criticism.
Yeah, it is. Whenever criticism is there, I definitely feel God isn't there.
But criticism doesn't always have to be bad.
I know, but there's a difference. Okay, we'll get into the next section. Okay, but I'm talking about the very fundamental way we create energy for growing. Because if I see something wonderful in this guy, I'm much more likely to grow in this relationship.
It's win-win.
It's win-win, absolutely. If I see something wonderful in my children every morning, there's chance for growth, there's hope for growth. So even if your children misbehave, even if you do whatever, we know intrinsically our responsibility is to be unconditional. To be there and say, I see one day, maybe there's still hope, there's still potential, we can get through this, we can grow, we can help. Yeah? And this is our hope, this is how God acts towards us as children. Yeah? So, but the key thing is, how can I do that towards my partner, or to my friends, or to other people who I don't seem to get on with well? So, you know, when we were young and in the movement, often we said things like what? We said, love the hardest person. What did that mean? Anybody heard that one? Love the hardest person. Yeah. What did it mean? It meant, can I see the beauty where I've never seen the beauty before?
Yeah.
You can't see it. I just look at this person, I can't see the beauty because I have my own limited understanding of beauty. But if you visit 20 countries, I mean, I live in Finland, when I arrived in Finland, all I could see was trees and lakes.
Trees and lakes.
Trees and lakes. And I drove with my father and he said, I think we drove through the countryside. He said, I think we saw that tree 20 minutes ago. They just don't look the same. And it can look all the same. And I couldn't really appreciate it. But then they say, oh, it's beautiful nature. Oh, it's just pretty with lights, you know. It's pretty boring, you know. And because I was used to hills and open spaces and blooming, you know, fields. And,
But now you're taking beautiful pictures of.
oh, there you go. Now,
I see all of that.
so when I understood this theory, I said, I have to find the beauty in nature. I have to find it. I have to love. I have to be at one with this country and feel the joy of that. And I found it in the miniature, the mosses, in the little mosses, the way that mosses meet rock and rock colours. And oh, it's so incredibly beautiful, which you don't have in England. So there's beauty in every country, in the snow, in the beautiful shades of snow and colours and ripple. It's gorgeous stuff if you really look. But of course I could go to a desert and do the same. But it's the same in any culture. I can go to a culture, a Swedish culture, and say, this is really beautiful here and here and here. It may be weak over here, but still, this is beauty. This is good.
I can see even in the desert beauty of
Yeah.
the emptiness.
Absolutely.
And the moving of the...
Absolutely. Sand.
That
Yeah.
sand.
Yeah. And if you go to those people and say, can you show me the beauty? And they will show you that. They know it. But they look for it. So it's a matter of learning to look for it and see it in different people in different ways. And the more ways you can value and say, oh, this person is so honest. I treasure that honesty. That person is just so, how can I say, they work hard. They just work hard to bring the money home. They're very reliable, you know. Or they, you know, even little things, small things, yeah. They keep the kitchen clean, or they wipe the cake or something, and put it away. You know? So there's hundreds of things, yeah. So this is how God loves me every day. So how can God look, you know, so I had to learn new ways to appreciate. Okay? So I had to learn for the good things that my wife was doing. She's doing, you know, she runs a kindergarten, she's loving children, she's creating events for them, and she's really, and you see these children grow and develop, and you don't see them damaging, you see them undamaging, and it's just how wonderful she's doing. And I'm just so inspired by this. So, and she does so much around the home, and you multitask like, I don't know how she can do it. You know. And anyway, or I can find qualities to admire, qualities to admire. So I can say, oh, you're very honest, or you work hard, or you are supportive in the community, or you know, you talk well with the second gen, or you invest in them, or you know, you've got qualities that are really wonderful. Okay, you can think about the past. If things are not working so well right now, I would go back and say, well, in the past she gave this, and she did this, and she did that. So if I'm missing it today, I can't see it, I can go back and say, wow, we had this wonderful moment, or she did this for the children, or she did that, or she did this. Yeah. But you can see this is adult, this is team player, this is adult. He can see and appreciate the future potential. Many times my appreciation for my wife is based upon, I believe she can grow. I believe, just like children.
What did you say?
I believe she can grow.
She is
She can grow.
She can grow.
I believe,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I believe with my love, she can grow. I can see a different woman that she cannot see. A more beautiful woman, a more competent woman. With my love and support, she can go there. And I see this woman, and I appreciate it, even though it's not there. Yeah? So it's like children, you do the same in a certain sense. I believe you can learn the maths to write, to do this. Yeah? Okay? I can see, he can see that even through things have been tough, you're still trying. So even though we're having a tough time, there's still investment going on. There's still attempt to grow. There's still an attempt to heal. They're still trying, and just appreciating the fact that they're still together, trying to work it out, trying to work on it. So the more different ways I have to appreciate, the more I develop these different forms of appreciation, the greater ability I have to be consistent in my desire to offer love and more God, and the more God and joy dwells in me. Yeah? The more consistent I can be, the more godlike I become. Because God is consistent in his appreciation. God is consistent in his giving. So the way God looks at us, he said, well, he's not doing something good today, but he's got future potential. He did so much good in the past. He did these things. So the more choices you have to draw upon, the more consistent you can be in saying, you are wonderful. You're an amazing woman. You're a lovely children. You're a great friend. You're a wonderful worker, etc., etc. Yeah? So Father says this, he says, there is nothing attractive about a small lake filled with muddy water. Yet if a pure white lotus flower grows in the middle of the mud, it makes the lake truly amazing. One flower can change an ugly lake into a beautiful lake. From this point of view, evil human beings, even if we can find even a gram of love in their hearts, can be beautiful.
Wonderful.
So he said, yeah? So he went to prostitutes, he went to these people, he went to these things, and he said, how can I find the beauty in you? He purposely put in places where people would go, ugh, I can't see the beauty here, to purposely seek out how God can love you. What is there lovable? How can I love you? The people who are homeless and the other people. How can I train his brain? How can I consistently see the beauty in people like I see? And this is your job in your marriages, your parenting and friendships. This is your job. So the question is how can I better learn to manage my own internal attitude so I can continue to grow and develop? And can I be willing to grow new skills for the people I care about, to make these relationships work better, the way our friendship work better, etc. So can I make a personal decision? So I talked about this 3-to-1, 3 positives and 1 negative. So trying to create at least a 5-to-1 balance of positive and negatives. To purposely choose that. Something goes wrong in your relationship, I'm going to find it. Okay? So can I grow can I become more adult or more free child or more nurturing? Can I learn these skills by myself? And I do these things. Okay. In a lot of relationships, a lot of homes, the women get the urgent, important things, and the men get the non-urgent, important things to do.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So this is a real problem, because the women say, oh, the food needs cooking, the clothes need ironing, the kids need putting to bed, this needs doing right now, this needs doing right now, and it goes through like this. And the guy is sitting there going, oh, And then he says, well, I've got to fix the car, but that can be done tomorrow or the next day. I have the accounts to do, maybe I can do that next week. Maybe I've got the garden, but that can be done sometime soon. So she's running around, and he's going,
So frustrating, yeah?
It's frustrating, it is, And so if men can become aware of this is a typical relationship problem issue, that she would appreciate him doing some of the urgent now things, just so she doesn't get so stressed, then the relationship can improve quite quickly and dramatically. So I went through a process, I realized this, okay, I said, but what can I do? I said, so I went online and listened to Gray, John Gray, you know, Men Are From Mars, Venus, because he's this men-women guy. And he says something really interesting. He says, women do not recognize the size of an act, a gift of an act. So one act, 1 point. So I could clean the whole windows of the house, which might take me 2 hours, and I would get the same benefit, she would gain the same benefits or same plus as if I just wiped the table down. There are some things that women register more deeply, like if you really listen to them.
Yeah.
Tell me about your feelings, tell me. How you feel? Now that's worth 3 points. Now already you're winning there. But 1 rose, 12 roses doesn't make any difference.
Exactly.
So it's better to buy 12 single roses and hide them around the house, you know, and she finds them day after day, you know, oh, he loves me.
You can do the petals.
Yeah,
One petal.
yeah, petals, yeah, the petals. I love her, you know, even small things. So he said, doesn't matter, size doesn't matter, it's a number of things. So I went through a process and I wrote down all the jobs that took 3 minutes or less.
3 minutes or less.
Yeah, laying the table, cleaning the table, making her a cup of tea, you know, making the bed, picking up the laundry, putting the laundry in the laundry box, and thing. I made a list, it's on the back there. And I purposely for a year said I can do these things. It takes me an extra 30 minutes a day, but my wife just calmed down
How do you see it?
immensely. Half an hour a day, 3 minutes this, 3 minutes that, 3 minutes this. And I grew as a team player. Of course I grew. So I'm better now, I'm more aware. I became more aware of my team player role. But if I just did one thing, one big thing, then it wouldn't, I would think, oh, you know, so some men say, well, I bought you roses 3 years ago, don't you? I love you, you know. So some of my most romantic moments is when I did something new, which I'd never done before, like I hang out the laundry
Wow!
for the first time. She was incredibly romantic. It's like I triggered something very deep, primal in her. Oh yeah, such an amazing man. You know, because it doesn't take 3 minutes to hang out the laundry, honestly, you know, to take it out and drop in the line and go bye-bye, you know. So I have been through all these things myself to try to say, how do I become a better dad and husband? Yeah. Okay, so there's a list on the back. You can take it home then, and you can choose which 3-minute things you want. Okay? Okay. Anyway. Okay. Okay. So you know the love buttons, love languages. Have you done the love languages? Huh? You know love languages?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So finding out which things your partner or friend or somebody, friendship languages, really likes and giving it to them specifically. So my wife, she likes to, you know, listen to, or she likes to do something together. Certain things, like go blueberry picking together. Or just give the things that she really likes to do. For her, I can do that, you know. Because she receives this very, very, you know.
Question.
Huh?
So what about the other way around? What is it the wife can do?
Well, it's exactly the same.
The same. So you're not saying it's just the same, but you're saying women
Well,
are wired differently.
You have to find out what the man's love language is, yeah? Or the man's, so most men would like praise. Just, I want to be appreciated for being the man I am. I want you to be aware of the man I am. The good things I am doing as a man in this responsibility. I want you to acknowledge that and treasure that. And not just see it as some kind of, well, is that all? You know?
I can relate to that. That's
Yeah. So most men just want acknowledgement of their masculinity, and when they get acknowledgement of their masculinity, then they have power for growth, because it's appreciated. It's good. But most women are just not just saying, you're not enough. You're just not enough. And he goes, okay. Because there's no energy. Doesn't work like that. If she comes, snuggles up to you on the couch and says, "Oh, my dear husband, oh, you're incredible. I tell you, Ray, you've got to work every day, you work hard, you really love those children, I'm so proud of you. You're really trying to contribute to society. So much."
But doesn't the woman want that also?
Well, she might, but I'm just saying, if you ask about a man,
Okay.
to appreciate the fact that he is doing something. Now, if she said after that, "Darling, you are an awesome man. Gosh, you're so great. Oh, I just love the way you hold me there sometimes. Just so good." And then she said after that, "Darling, would you mind if you came to me next week?" Would you say no? Would you say no? Yeah. I'm just joking, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, can you refuse? That's it, that's the point, yeah? Yeah, that's the point. We fundamentally, it doesn't have to be exactly like that. But most men just want to know that they're appreciated and valued for the masculinity. It's the fundamental thing that will allow the masculinity to grow. To know what masculinity they are already showing so that they can value it themselves. And in valuing themselves, they say, "I can do more." But with only criticism or kind of lack of appreciation, he's just going, "Well, what does it mean to grow? You say do this, but I did this, and you've just still carried on criticizing me."
That's why a man, like a president, will say, "Oh, behind every great man is a great
A
woman."
woman, absolutely. For sure, if a woman can appreciate the man for who he is and send those messages, you are valuable for who you are and what you contribute, then that man has more energy for growth. It's just is what it is. But it's so hard because she's doing so many. And they're trying to get this balance right. Yeah? Okay. So, but the interesting thing about it is that once you've learned self-management, you don't need that so much anymore because you know how good you are. You know inside yourself. Yeah? So, early in marriages, it's really helpful. But once you, okay, I'm doing reasonably well. I know I am doing reasonably well because I see my wife getting happier. I see these things happier. And I can do this better. Okay, so this is the point, yeah? So, can I learn to look at the truth, beauty, and goodness in others and myself, yeah? So can I do this? So this is the path of growth. This allows growth to happen. Yeah? How can I see the good that is already in a friend, partner, etc., and treasure them? Accepting that they have weaknesses just like I do. Yeah. Okay? So this is what I've been through all these things, and I still do many of them. Every morning I take 3 minutes to think about the beauty of my children and my spouse and friends and things like this. I take time to say to my own self, I have done some good things recently. I'm not so bad, and I can go forward. Yeah. Yeah. One of the methods that's interesting, on YouTube, in fact, Zig Ziglar, appreciation. And he gives a really lovely example. And it's a lovely example. But basically, if you're struggling with somebody, then you write down, you really try to find the good points in them. You write them down. And you keep adding to that list. And every morning or evening, you stand in front of the mirror and you say out loud, "I really love Hans because he does it. I really love Hans because he does this. I really love Hans because it..." And your energy changes. Your energy, and the person feels it, and they become more positive, and you change. And he says, when he gives this example, he says, the lady gave this thing to this advice to, and she came back a few months later, and she said, "Gosh, you have no idea. Everybody around me changed. They've all become better people." So it was kind of really interesting, Zig Ziglar kind of thing. Okay, So one of the things, I have a daily habit. I have a daily habit with my wife. Is one of the habits is, so when she comes home from work or something, you can maybe go up and hug her and just say something nice about her. It's my time to say, oh, I appreciate and value her. It's like a special ritual. Yeah? And then sometimes we add something to it. So when she comes home, I do a dance like an albatross or a dog or something like this. So I'll walk up like this, like a puppy dog. Like, I'm so happy to see you. You know? And if you look at the albatrosses and the way they love each other, they go, ah! Ah! And they rub their beaks together. So sometimes we do that. Ah! And if you just do that,
Yeah, it's good, it's really
it's really follow these animal methods.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you just create this energy of appreciation.
Yeah, wow.
You just get these habits.
Yeah, yeah.
But you create this, I love you. I appreciate you. But without this, how do you know? If you don't create these moments during the day, how do you know? She's sitting on the sofa over there, he's sitting on the sofa there. He goes to bed, he sleeps on his side. How do you know? Look, show. I'm here, and you're here. Okay? People who create an appreciation diary at the end of the day, they just take a little diary and just saying all the things they appreciated about their partner, children, friends during the day, become more appreciative of life. They're happier people.
Yeah, good.
Just happier because they know life is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't take long, 3 minutes at the end of the day, and you can be a happier person. Yeah. Okay? Now, there's lots of things going on. Sorry, I'm past time, but just learning to appreciate your parents for who they were is a really, really, really important internal life step. No matter what happened with your parents, to appreciate them for who they were and the good things they did give you is a really, really important part of emotional health and growing up. Because if you can't appreciate them, then you're more likely to take on their negative attributes. If you can't appreciate the good they gave you, and then say, I have this good in me too, and I want to pass it on, what you do is take their negative and pass it on. And you will never feel happy with who you are. And so learning to appreciate and say, my parents were who they are, and they gave me this, and just, I really appreciate that bit for who they are. And this is part of mental health and all kinds of other things. Yeah? So these kind of sentences, I accept you, from you, everything, all of it. I accept it all. And at the full price you pay for it, and that I too am paying for it. So I accept it all. I take it all, good and bad, but I still appreciate it. I will make something out of it for your pleasure and in your memory. Your giving, the good you gave and you tried to give, will not be lost. I will try to inherit this and move it forward. I will hold on to it and honor it, and when I can, I will pass it on as you passed it on. These sentences are so precious that we are part of history and developing, trying to do better and better. Because if you just end up being critical and cut yourself over, all you're doing is much more likely to pass on the negative, and your children will inherit that. Okay? And also, towards husbands and wives, I take you, yeah? Oh, yeah, healthy child, positive, I take you as a mother and father. Oh, was that the last husband one? Was that one? Yeah, parent versus spirit, yes. Okay, again more sentences. I take you as my mother and father, and you can have me as your child. You are for me the right one, and I am the right child for you. You are big and I am small. You give and I receive. Dear mother, father, I'm happy that you have chosen me. Mother, the two of you are the right ones for me. Only you. I honor you.
So where did you get this from?
This is Hellinger.
Hellinger, how do you
Yeah,
spell
this is Hellinger's work.
it? H-E?
Yeah, Hellingel. This is, he developed a method called family constellations.
Aha, he's
Yeah, behind Rebellious work. Yeah.
Mhm.
And he realized that a lot of the trauma within people is based upon their inability to be grateful for what they receive. And they're just holding on to this blame and accusation and everything. And there's no healing is possible unless you can get appreciation. You have to find that appreciation. So he learned these sentences to say, you just have to accept it. Just like you have to accept your partner, you have to accept your children, who they are, and just appreciate that. It's really very principled. Husband, wife, I take you as my wife. I take you as my husband, with everything that belongs with you. I take it all. I accept it, and we will grow together, basically. I love our children and love you and respect you. Okay? Okay. Good? Okay? So this is the fundamental force. But how can I keep consistent appreciation and see new things in people and value and treasure? That's it. Okay? Any questions? Does it make sense?
No, you got everything.
Huh?
You told everything.
Well,
You told everything. There is no more to say.
I think this is the meat on the bones of the principle. And anyone who thinks that you coming here with your ideas and this is not the true principle, I think people should come and listen to you.
Thank you very much.
Because there are people in this world
Yeah.
who have certain opinions about you without actually even heard anything you said. And I appreciate anyone like you who studies the principle and is seeking how it can relate to our real life, how to make the principle relevant, usable. And I think that's what you do.
Very reasonable. I use this every day in my life. Every single day. These theories, what I'm teaching you, I use it to manage my relationship with my wife for better end. Yeah, and with my co-workers or whatever in part. And this is how kind of an interpretation, it may be just one of many interpretations, but this is the way I kind of convey it.
And I would tell people, what you're saying is very valuable.
Thank you very much.
People need to listen.
But anyway, yeah.
I really
Yeah. But this is the root of the principle, and it's not. And how? Anyway, thank you. Any questions? Any other questions or make sense?
Lunch?
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. It's been a wonderful day. Okay. So there are worksheets associated with this, but we can talk about that later. Yeah. So what time are we meant to be back here?
I think it was meant to be 2:30, but we're running late, so that would, if we have a 1.5 hour break, we would be start again at a quarter.
Okay.
Well, we make it to 2:30.